everybody. I'm so excited to be with you today. I have one more amazing YouTube friend who is celebrating 1,000 subscribers. I'm so excited for everyone that has hit this milestone. It seems like there's been a lot of them that have been coming up. So today we are celebrating Laura. If you have never encountered Laura's projects before or met her, I highly recommend you go over to her channel. She is amazing. She has been a friend of mine for a very, very long time. She's in the UK and she is just one of the sweetest people. So what we're doing today is this hop is celebrating Laura's channel hitting 1,000 subscribers, and there are prizes. So along the course of the hop, as you leave comments, we have 6 sponsors and 6 special prizes that we are giving away. One of those sponsors is Spiegel Mom Scraps, so I am definitely going to be putting in some beautiful sequins on my Traveler's Notebook spread. So I thought I would just continue to play and try to get more of my Traveler's Notebook documenting the pandemic done. And so what I have here is I have pulled out an 8.5 by 11 sheet of notebook paper because we're going to do some stamping in our book. And this book is becoming a chunky monkey. And so I did that. I am going to be using these stamps from Ellie Edwards. These are from the Tech Story stamp. And I don't have a subscription to these, but I do pick them up when she has them on sale because I do love these stamps. I'm going to be using a brand new to me product, so I thought this would work really well for our quarantine. What this is Scrap and Happy Studio. You know that I'm on their design team and they have these beautiful epoxy flares that you can buy and have shipped to your house. But she also has these really cool printables. And I asked her if I could play with her printables this month for my design team projects. And that's what we're going to do. So I have lots of them. She had 6 or 7 that she sent me, but they're so cute. So I'm going to show them to you. This is how they work. So you print them out on matte photo paper. That's what this is. This is a nice matte photo paper. It's Canon photo paper. It's the same paper I use to print my pictures when I print from my Canon Pixma. It prints just like this, perfectly sized. Just make sure you print it with no border. You can use a 1-inch circle punch and you can just punch out all these different images. It even tells you where to cut. So you can go punch, 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 cut, punch, 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 cut, and you're ready to go. You just need a 1-inch circle punch. So we're going to play with those. I am going to be documenting the Crafting at a Distance scrapbooking event that Susanna and I and Christina held right at the beginning of the pandemic when the stay-at-home orders were just starting. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. And then I also pulled this yellow door 6x6 paper pad for these 2 patterns right here. I want to use this one, and maybe a little bit of this stripy pattern. So if this seems like an odd pairing, I'm not going for the images necessarily, or a lot of the patterns won't work, but this pattern, and a little bit of black and white I thought worked really well with this. And I grabbed some Catherine Pooler inks to coordinate with the paper pad and coordinate with my punchables. So I have Be Mine, Lime Ricky, and Hot Tub. So we're going to get started with that. I also, my sister bought me a present. Look what she bought me. So my baby sister bought me a Misty. This, as you know, I have like my ginormous Misty, right? But this is just a regular, this is the regular Misty. But because of the way it goes 8 by 4, which means it will be perfect to stamp with Traveler's Notebook pages. And the reason I did kind of want one and kind of voiced to her that, you know, if she really wanted to buy me something, this would be a great gift for me, is because it's nice and small. And, you know, sometimes I use my ginormous Misty, you know, you've seen me, and I use this part of it. I open my big one up and I kind of put my paper in, and then I use an acrylic block. Because the big door is not always convenient for what I'm stamping. So I'm super excited, and I know I'm going to use this today because I'm going to be working in my Traveler's Notebook and I'm going to stamp a background page. All right, let's get going, and be sure to check the description box below. You will find the next stop on the hop, and if you get lost along the way, you will also find Laura's link to her video down below, which will give you the whole list, so you can start at the beginning and work your way down. And the next video you're going to after this one will be Lisa's. Okay, I'll talk to y'all again very soon. Bye. So I'm going to go ahead and start by taking this cardstock, this thinner cardstock, and cutting 2 sheets to 4 by 8. I really, really like it, this size, in my Rock Your Notebook notebooks, because it just fits. It gives you like a little bit of an edge around, but it still works really well. And I really only use this technique when my books are getting too chunky and I want to do things like stamping. So I'm going to cut those down, and then I'm going to work with these this punch sheet from Scrap and Happy Studio, so you get to see me use it a little bit. I'm just going to grab my punch, my circle punch, and I flip my punch upside down, put the image into the middle of the circle, and then punch it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. These are so cute and fun. I think the only limitation you would have is if you have, I don't know, maybe a really bad printer, but even, I mean, they're not anything complicated. So you just punch out the 3 circles, take a trimmer, go ahead and trim down on that dotted line, and continue on to punch. So I'm going to punch all 9 of the circles, and then I'm going to hit them with some Distress Oxide ink and Hickory Smoke. I'm going to be using this ink color throughout this layout, so anytime you see me inking, it's with my Hickory Smoke Distress ink. So now I'm going to go ahead and start stamping on one of those panels. I'm going to fill this panel and kind of make my own a text pattern using this story stamp from Ali Edwards. So this stamp set is all about technology. And I thought that that would work really well because this Crafting at a Distance scrapbooking event was done all online. And you can see there how really nicely and cardstock for Traveler's Notebook size, so 4 by 8 fits in the regular size MISTI. If you're someone that does not scrapbook 12 by 12, but you like the idea of doing a lot of stamping in a Traveler's Notebook, this would probably be a good investment. I'm super duper excited. This was so much easier to use than my huge one. Although my huge one, I love it. And when I scrapbook 12 by 12, you know it's going to get used. But for smaller projects, I think this is going to work out really, really well. So I'm just going to start with the word tech. I'm going to go ahead. Yes, there's all of my lovely roots that need colored. Quarantine hair. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and stamp the word tech in 3 different places. And then I'm going to fill it in with that large heart shape. And then I'm going to fill in after that with the smaller words and sentiments. And I'm just alternating between those 3 colors that I chose. When I'm doing a stamping pattern like this, I always start with my biggest stamps. I work from my largest sized stamps to my smallest stamps, and I find that I get the best results and the best looking patterns when I do that. So I start with the big stamps and kind of get those in place, and then I can work with the room that I have between the stamps to go ahead and continue to stamp in all my colors that I want to use and all the different stamps. So I will say that I didn't do this stamping perfectly, but that's okay. And there I did leave some open spots, which will allow me to add some pattern paper and some of the flair to this side of my spread to make both sides of my spread cohesive. And when I say my stamping is not perfect, it would be because one or even maybe even 2 of the stamps that I stamped on, I accidentally stamped them upside down. Always a good time when you do that. Okay, so I know that I want to put that on the left side of my spread, and I'm going to work on the right side. I have my photo here, and I'm just going to back my photo with this pretty aqua colored paper. I'm going to give it just a small little bit of aqua color around the edge. And then I'm also going to take some of the patterns that I've chosen, the black and white pattern and that pink and aqua, and I'm just going to cut a couple of strips. and ink those up. And that's going to just give me a nice pattern that I can run down the side of my page. I make them the same width. That makes it easy for me to go ahead and place them down. And now we can start kind of gluing stuff down and getting this side of the spread finished, since we will have all of our inking done. Okay, so I'm going to place the black and white striped pattern just right there down the right side of my spread. And I'm matching up the stripes to kind of give it the impression that it's one long sheet of paper instead of two 6-inch long sheets of paper. Kind of works. I could have left it just like this. It would have been just fine, but I ultimately decided to place the photo over where the joint is between the two strips of paper, so you can't even see it in the finished product. I'm using that little offcut to cover up the stamp that I stamped upside down. Just seemed like a good spot to pull in some of that more black and white pattern paper and cover up my mistake. This is one of those projects where just about every page and every layout is journal heavy, because lots and lots to write about. I'm going to go ahead and use that spot above my photo, which isn't really a photo, it's the graphic that Susanna made for the online crafting event that we hosted. And I'm going to take my T-square ruler, I'm going to draw myself some journaling lines and then do my journaling right above the photo. I ended up with a little bit of a gap then at the top after my journaling was done, which is perfectly fine because I'm going to use these two thin strips of pattern paper to cover up that top piece. I really like how this turned out. I thought it was kind of a cool, different page design, or traveler's notebook page design. And it's just a little bit different. Usually I place my photo at the top or in the middle, so to have the graphic at the bottom with the journaling on top was just a little something out of my normal page design, but I do enjoy it. I'm also trying to keep the pinks away from my graphic as much as possible because they don't absolutely positively match. If you have them away from each other, you can't tell, but if you have them right up against each other, they don't match perfectly, but it was the closest match that I had in my stash, both in ink color and in pattern paper. So by sprinkling the pink around, but not putting the pink right against the photo, I think it works really well. It's close enough. It's not, really, really off, but it is just slightly. And every time I would put the pink against my graphic, the photo, I didn't like it at all. But when I kept them apart, then it was okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and place those two strips above the top, and now I'm going to create a little cluster. I'm going to end up putting 3 of the flares above on those 2 strips. But for now, I can't find the third flare. It's hiding under some of the paper, and I don't find it till the very end, but that's okay. I'm going to go through the sequins that I have right here to hand. I have oodles and oodles of sequins, but I always keep just a couple mixes right in my little organizer on my desk that I can reach into real quick. And one of the new sequin mixes that were released in June is called Penguin Suit, and it has these really, really cute like matte black sequins in them. So I decided I would just go ahead and use some of those to pull in some more of the black from my pattern paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and dot about some Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, grab my Crystal Katana, and kind of put some sequins around on that side. And then I'm going to set this page aside and work on the other part of my spread. For the right side of my spread, I am going to simply use some more of these little flares. I'm going to place them in open areas that I have around. And then I'm actually going to, so one of the stamps is a circle stamp. And I actually, it just worked out that this stamp was just the right circle size that I could place one of the flares right in the middle, and it looks really good. It kind of like offset the circle. And I decided that was where I'm just going to go ahead and place one of the flares, because the circle appears other places in my stamped background, and I really like how it kind of tied things together well. So I'm going to go ahead and place one more flare onto this page, and then I'm going to come in with my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive, and I'm going to go ahead and add some more sequins. I am being a little bit choosy with the sequins that I'm picking to put on this layout. Some of them are cupped, but some of them are flat, and I really want the flat ones. This book is, you know, my books, they get so chunky. And so I want to keep this spread particular as flat as possible. I mean, I do that with all of my Traveler's Notebook spreads because I know going in I'm going to make them like ridiculously stuffed full, but I'm getting towards the end. I think I only have 3 more spreads to do in this one. And then we can move on to the stories from April. And here's where I find my little coronavirus germ. He's so cute. I call it a germ cute, but he is. Look, he's adorable. And so that's going to be my spread. I'm just going to go ahead and add the tape runner to the back and center my page onto the Traveler's Notebook, and we will be finished. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please continue to hop on through and say hello to everyone on the hop, comment, and be sure to check out all the amazing sponsors that are sponsoring this hop. And a huge congratulations to Laura on reaching her 1,000 subscriber milestone. Here are some close-ups for you, and I will talk to you all again very soon. See, I'm checking to see how many more pages do I have to do in this album. I think it's 4. I think it is. Yep. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Bye.